What's up guys, it's Meg and welcome back to Meg After Dark. Today we are doing a breakdown video for the latest Walking Dead Season 8 trailer that premiered yesterday at Comic-Con in San Diego. I am so excited about this trailer because it gives us so much insight onto what is coming in Season 8 and potentially what's all happening in the first half of Season 8. Now I want to give you a warning that this video is going to contain comic book spoilers, although I encourage you to read the comics because they're so amazing. I want to give you a quick breakdown on what happens in the first part, Volume 1, or it's really Volume 20, Part 1 of All Out War, just so you have kind of an idea going into this trailer breakdown video. And this is a big summary here, not including all the little details because that would make a very long video. Basically, All Out War Part 1 starts out with Rick getting ready to attack Negan at the Sanctuary. Rick has a plan. He goes to the Sanctuary with a group. He has united with the Hilltop and the Kingdom like we're seeing in the show. He goes to the Sanctuary with the group on the pretense of making peace with Negan. In reality, what is happening is he is actually riling up the walkers outside, and they're going to basically bust the fence down with a truck to allow the walkers to go into the Sanctuary and pin Negan inside. And then they're going to go and attack some of his outposts. Basically though, when they get there, they discover that Gregory is already there. Now, in the end of Season 7 on the television show, we did see Gregory on his way to the Sanctuary to try and fix things with Negan because he does not like what's happening with Rick and Maggie and all that kind of stuff. He's a weasel, he's a coward, he's an asshole. So that actually does happen in the comics as well. When Rick and group get there, basically Gregory denounces Rick and says like that the Hilltop stands with Negan, and that causes some of the Hilltop group that was there with Rick and Jesus and everyone that was gonna fight to actually leave and go home. But not very many of them. Basically, it doesn't kind of work out like Negan planned. He was hoping that much more of Rick's army would be Hilltop soldiers because that's what Gregory told him, and that would cause a bunch of them to leave. It doesn't really work out like that. Rick does end up busting the fence down, although Holly is the one to do it. She takes Rick's spot. I don't believe that any kind of sort of Holly situation is going to happen now because we already had Sasha kind of take on a sort of pseudo Holly role in the comics. Don't know who is going to bust the fence down. I do believe, which I'm going to tell you in just a second, but I do believe Eric dies at some point. We do see a spot of Aaron in the preview here talking about letting the walkers do their job, so I'm pretty sure the same scenario is going to sort of happen. Back to the comics. They do pin Negan inside. It doesn't last very long, but they do. Meanwhile, they go to attack the to attack the other outposts, the Sanctuary's outposts. And in the meantime, Eric does die at one of those outposts. And then in another outpost, Ezekiel and his men are kind of pinned down, attacked both, I think both by walkers and saviors. Basically, they're overwhelmed. Shiva ends up giving her life to save Ezekiel, which I am hoping that does not happen in the television show because that would make me really sad, although there is a moment in the trailer that makes me really worried. So they attack the outpost. I believe they go back to Alexandria. Negan shows up at Alexandria, throws grenades and all sorts of stuff. There's a big fight attack there, and that's the end of Part 1 of All Out War. And then there's a whole Part 2, which as we move through the trailer, I'll talk about that a little bit more then, but that kind of gives you a pretense of to what happens in the comics and how it's going to relate to the breakdown video. So let's get started looking at the breakdown video here. First off, the very first scene of the video is Negan in the dark with Gabriel, and we see walkers pounding on the outside of the doors. Negan says, "I hope you have your shitting pants on." Gabriel's confused, like what? And he says, "Because you're about to shit your pants." That line, "I hope you have your shitting pants on," is a line straight from the comics, although that line is spoken to Dwight at the Sanctuary when the walkers are getting inside. I do love that they kind of give a nod to the comics and have Negan say some of those lines that he says in the comics on the television show. It's just great. I love seeing that happen, especially because we don't get all of the fuck every other sentence, every other word, pretty much, like we do in the comics with Negan. So it's kind of, at least we're still getting some of those iconic Negan lines. Moving right along. I want to start out the video by pointing out these armbands on our survivors' arms. So we have the white bands on the Alexandrians. We have the red bands on the members fighting for the kingdom, and we have green for those fighting at the hilltop. You can see these throughout the episode. Everybody on our side is wearing them, it appears, although I don't quite see them on some of the scenes with Ezekiel, but I'm pretty sure they're there. I have a feeling that this is to identify everyone because, you know, there's 3 communities coming together. Not everyone doesn't know everybody. So you have to have a way to know who you're fighting. And I love this idea. It makes so much sense. It's so well thought through. You know, how are we able to identify who we're fighting with and who we're fighting against? I like the fortification they've put on these cars. They're basically lining these cars up outside as a defense, sort of. They've actually attached these pieces of the wall to the outsides of the trucks and the cars, which you can see here in the field lining it, and it definitely gives a sort of barrier. The next clip here is of Dwight receiving a message, likely from Rick's group, that says tomorrow. I have a feeling that they are warning Dwight that the attack is going to come tomorrow to prepare. It looks like Dwight has still been helping them. And I imagine that he's probably told them where a lot of the outposts are in order to make this successful. So that clip, along with these clips of Tara and Carol, I think they're hurting all of the walkers. It looks like Daryl has something to do with hurting the walkers as well. This leads me to believe that Rick's group is actually going to bring the attack to the sanctuary, just like in the comics. Except that the walkers aren't already outside the sanctuary like they were in the comics. They are actually bringing the herd to Negan, which I love. And we see these moments with Daryl on the motorcycle, and he's shooting these gasoline covered, or these boxes with the gasoline tanks underneath, and basically I think he's creating a path for the walkers to follow, leading them to the sanctuary. This clip with Negan here at the table. He looks so angry, and I have a feeling he's found out that Rick is either outside or that Rick has attacked the outpost, something along those lines. We also see Aaron here, and this is what leads me to believe that Eric dies. In this moment here, we see Aaron, and he is yelling, we pin them in, and it takes care of themselves. So, and I believe this is Rick in the background here as well. This just leads me to believe, again, that they bring the fight to the Savior's doorstep. They've brought the herds with them, and he's saying the plan, like, no, we pin them in, it takes care of themselves, or of itself. And I have a feeling, then we see this moment of Aaron looking particularly sad, and then we see Enid talking to Aaron and basically saying, like, I want to come with you, I want to help. And Aaron looks, he almost looks like skinnier and just sad, and you just get this feeling that something has happened. And I'm really convinced that Eric dies in this moment. The next few shots here are of what I believe Rick and the various groups from the Hilltop and the Kingdom all making attacks on individual outposts here. I love the shot of Rick walking down the hallway. I think that's pretty awesome. But we see different groups from the different places all going to these outposts, I think, and attacking. I want to talk about Ezekiel's group here for a moment. We see them here. It looks like Ezekiel's kind of giving them a pep talk. Shiva's there in the middle as well. I think they're making their way to one of the outposts here. It looks like they are probably seen first. We see them here ducking down because they've just been shot at. It's likely that this is the same kind of thing from the comics where they get overwhelmed with either saviors, probably both, saviors and walkers here. I love this next moment here where Jerry says that Ezekiel is such a cool dude. It's kind of scary to see because we see them completely covered in blood. I'm really worried that in this moment Jerry is going to die. I think that's a popular fan theory that Jerry will die. I sure hope not. I really love his character. He does get this epic walker kill though here with this giant axe. I'm not sure what that's called, but pretty awesome. And then this is the moment with Shiva. She's surrounded by walkers. I am so worried that this is the moment where they take Shiva out. I am hoping that I am wrong. I'm so hoping. But Shiva is amazing. I love how she looks here. They do so well with the CGI. But she is surrounded by walkers, and I'm wondering if she does indeed save Ezekiel's life and die in the process. Couldn't we just have it where she just saves Ezekiel's life and doesn't actually have to die? Because I love her. There are a few moments here that I'm not sure kind of where they fit into the season, but I want to point them out for sure. I do believe this is Daryl's gun, and it looks like he has got a body count of potential humans that he's killed, which that's getting pretty far up there. But it really looks like this is his hands, his pants. I'm pretty sure that's him. Now, these hands, a lot of people are saying this is Carl who's been caught again, but notice the shirt, and it's tied around, this person's tied around the wrists. This person looks like they're cutting themselves free. But then we see this dude. Now, this is one of the saviors. Look at how he's rubbing his wrist. He has the same kind of shirt on. It looks like maybe he escaped his binds. I mean, he's rubbing his wrist and kind of like laughing. I sure hope he dies. I'm pretty sure this is the same dude as the tied up hands picture. Now, we see this eye peeking through this kind of storage container here, and I couldn't tell who it was at first, but then we see this moment of this guy inside of the storage container. I'm pretty sure this is Rick, although he's just in his boxers, it looks like. What's even more concerning, though, is that I am pretty sure that he is actually in the Scavengers' possession. So we have this clip here, and then we have another clip here, and if you look in the background, we see the same storage container with the little hole right there with kind of the label over it. I am pretty sure that this is the exact same storage unit. Well, it's not a storage unit. What are these called? Shipping containers? That I think it's Rick is in. You can't really see, but it sort of looks like his body shape. And I have no idea where this fits into the story. We did not have the Scavengers in the story at this point. So I really don't know. I mean, this is a whole new addition to the story. I have no idea how it fits in. I have no idea when Rick, if that is him, gets himself captured, or really how these Scavengers fit into the whole storyline here. It's definitely something that's up in the air. We know that why can't I think of this girl's name now all of a sudden? I cannot think of her character's name. All I know is her name. Shit, I should have thought about that before I started talking. But we know that she is easily swayed to whichever side is offering the greatest benefit. So I'm curious if Rick tried to go back again and persuade her to join his side. I'm not sure who she's talking to here at this point either. Whatever happens here, I love that there is something that is at least still up in the air for us comic readers. They always have ways of surprising us. So even when we think we know what's going to happen, even though my predictions sound good in this video, they always like to throw something in there like a curveball where you don't realize it's going to happen. So these are definitely a wild card here. I also want to mention Jesus and Morgan fighting. A lot of people are concerned. Why are they fighting? I personally think that they are sort of training each other, sparring with each other, whatever you want to call it. They're both excellent fighters, but they fight in different ways and they have different techniques. I am hoping that that's what's happening here. If not, maybe Jesus surprised Morgan. I don't know. Morgan has definitely had some issues in the past here, so we know that this could be a problem. I, however, am convinced that they are making it appear as if they're fighting in the trailer, but they are really practicing and teaching each other important skills. And now, the moment you guys have been waiting for me to talk about. I cannot tell you how excited I am that they threw this in at the end of the trailer. This is Rick's cane from A New Beginning. Oh my gosh. And I love this next scene because they are channeling season 1, episode 1. When Rick wakes up from a coma, we see the dead flowers on the left. We see him in bed. It's a completely different story. And here at the end, he wakes up and we see him in the bed looking up at the ceiling. They are trolling us so hard, you guys, because one of the biggest fan theories out there for all of the crazy fans, they think that Rick is in a coma and he wakes up and it was all a dream. So this is completely a troll to that theory. That will not be happening. I can tell you 100% that will not be happening. But let me tell you what I think is going to happen right now, which is a big theory out there. I'm sure that this is right. In the comics, at the end of All Out War, when A New Beginning comes out, it's volume 22, I believe. I don't know what exact issue it starts at, but when it is released, there is a time jump of 2 years into the future. It's only 2 years. Everyone is commenting right now, why is Rick so gray? Why does he look like an old man? Let me tell you something. If any of you have ever endured a severe amount of stress in your life, you know that it turns you gray really quickly. He doesn't look like an old man here. All he looks like to me, you know, he doesn't have the wrinkly face that someone who is 10 years down the line would have. He's not showing the age. He's just showing the white hair in his beard, which the present time Rick already has some gray hairs, okay? So the extreme amount of stress that is caused by the war, the all-out war here that he has endured, the people he's lost, would be enough to turn someone gray who's already going gray. Have you ever seen our presidents? Like, look at Barack Obama when he first became president, and look at him, you know, when he was done being president. He's like completely gray now. The amount of stress that it takes when you're the president, like, you can see that. Look at any president that we've had. It always happens where they turn gray, and it's because there is a severe amount of stress in being that, and that's just an example. I'm sure people will argue with me on that, but stress turns you gray quicker than age does. So I think the big question is here is that, will All Out War be in 8 episodes, or are they giving us just kind of a preview of what will happen in the beginning of season 9? I have a feeling, as much as I don't want it to happen, I have a feeling that All Out War will take place in the first half of season 8, and it will be done. And this wake-up scene of Rick is going to be either in episode 8 or in episode 9, and that's how they will start up the second half of season 8 here. So I'm sad to see it all kind of come to an end so quickly with Negan. I'm going to leave out the spoilers on what happens with Negan right now. I don't think it really pertains to this trailer, but I would love to talk to you guys more about it in the comments. So that is it for my breakdown video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions or comments or something that I missed in there. I would love to talk to you more about it in the comments section. I also want to say that I really enjoyed all of the speaking throughout the trailer, which I didn't really get to talk about in this breakdown video because it's already pretty long. But I wanted to say that I really enjoyed Rick's speech, Maggie's moments in there where she's saying, "We can have the world." Even the kind of cheesy King Ezekiel moments, "Trust the king." I still loved it. It just shows us how confident our characters are going into the coming season 8 and attacking Negan, and we have 3 communities coming together to fight against this bad guy, and they are confident that they're gonna win and that their tactics are going to work. And we will lose people along the way, unfortunately. That is what for sure is gonna happen. I'm crossing my fingers that there are no big deaths like Daryl or Carol. They're my favorites. I also would be really sad if that fan theory about Jerry is correct. I'm pretty confident that Eric is going to die. I'm thinking Shiva will probably die as well, and there will be more. I know there will be more. I'm not really confident in my death predictions yet, so I'm probably gonna hold off, maybe do another video on that down the road. But just want to talk about this here. I actually really liked the music. I thought it was cool. I liked how they did kind of a pumped up cheesy action thriller theme here. I liked the music. A lot of times the music is more like depressing or scary, which fits well with the past seasons, but I love the confidence that the music makes you feel when you're watching the trailer. But I know a lot of people didn't agree with that, and really music is everything. So I have seen a ton of people saying that they really didn't like it and hated it, and that's unfortunate because I think the trailer is a great trailer, and I hope people can realize like the feeling that the music is trying to make you feel when you're watching it. So just my thoughts on it. Let me know what your guys' predictions are in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.